Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Low Season Traveller Insider Guides. I'm your host, Jed Brown, founder of Low Season Traveller, and this week we're joined by Elizabeth Jordan, who is the founder and president of the National Sailing Academy in Antigua. One of the core pillars of Low Season Traveller is that we try to ensure that low season travellers leave a positive legacy whenever they travel. As such, we decided early on that we will donate 50% of all of the profits from bookings made via lowseasontraveller.com to small, local, community-run charities in each destination which we feature. Our first such charity is the National Sailing Academy of Antigua, which helps children from disadvantaged backgrounds to learn skills like swimming and sailing. Here, Elizabeth tells us about the organisation and why their work is just so important. Enjoy. So, Elizabeth, very welcome to the Low Season Traveller podcast. First of all, paint the picture we were just discussing before. I'm here based in Manchester. It's the middle of March. It's cold, it's grey, it's wet. What's it like where you are? Where are you exactly and what's it like?
I'm in English Harbour, which is on the southeast coast of Antigua. It's 8 a.m. and it's already getting very warm and it's very sunny and there's a nice breeze. I mean, paradise is close, I would say.
It's certainly closer to paradise than Manchester in March, anyway. So listen, tell our listeners a little bit about the National Sailing Academy and all about the great work that you guys do.
Okay, well, we just passed our 10th anniversary of the formation of the Sailing Academy in February. I am the founder and president for my sins. My objective was to get local youth, Antiguan youth, into the sailing and yachting industry. Antigua is a mecca for yachting in the Caribbean. We have well-known international events in the sailing world, but what we don't have is many Antiguans looking to it as a career path, largely based on historical reasons, logistical reasons and financial reasons. The history goes back to slavery, basically. When slaves were captured, they were farmers, they weren't sailors. Their first journey on the ocean wasn't very pleasant. And when they arrived in the islands, they were put on plantations, which are not near the beach. You don't grow sugarcane on a beach. And a fear of water was instilled into them, which was handed down through generations. So bizarrely, apart from the fact that on Antigua and many other islands, you can't be more than 6 miles from water, about 80% of primary school children can't swim. Wow. They go to the beach and play in the shallows, but swimming is something that they've been told is dangerous over the years. That's changed a lot over my time here, which is now 20 plus years. Now we do have swim clubs, and parents now are asking us to teach the children to swim, even though they don't necessarily want to do it themselves. But we do now have swim clubs and children compete at swimming. Logistically, we have beaches, but our beaches can have a lot of drop-offs and surf. And you know, if a child walks in and gets knocked down by a wave, it's probably frightened for a good length of time afterwards. Yeah. So we need a controlled environment, and unfortunately on Antigua we do not have any public swimming pools. They're all either in resorts or in private villas. Yeah. So it's very limited as to where we can possibly teach. And of course, from my point of view, running a sailing school, if they can't swim or at least have confidence in the water, I can't send them out in a dinghy in deep water. So that's, and then of course, as I say, the logistical problems if there isn't a public swimming pool. And then financially, the only place that was set up to give sailing lessons was the yacht club, locally, but that's a members club for the benefit of the members, and their fees are $200 per term, which is beyond the reach of families that I'm dealing with. So the academy was formed, as I say, in 2010. The lessons for the students are free. It was supported at that time by the yachting community. The super yachts that come in here were very sympathetic to the programme. I was at that time Commodore of the Yacht Club. After a couple of years, I realised that the two programmes weren't a good fit together. So we moved to our own premises, which we leased about half a mile round the harbour, where we now have obviously the freedom to do as we please. So we have two basic programs. In the mornings, we do the RYA Sailability program for disabled children and adults. In the afternoons, we teach sailing to what are basically disadvantaged local youth from government schools. Both programs are free to the participants, but obviously we have to pay rent for the premises. We have 6 sailing instructors who unfortunately want wages. We have electricity bills and maintenance bills. Our ambition is to become financially sustainable. We exist on donations. We're basically a non-profit, and we go where we can to asking for donations. People are very generous. They like what we do. They see the results. 6 of my students that started here when we moved here in 2014 have now become RYA day skippers and will progress to yachtmaster and will be eligible to get employment in the yachting industry. Otherwise, training and qualifications these days are essential.
Yeah.
On the big yachts.
The sailing industry must be quite large in Antigua, right? I mean, it must be quite a large employer.
Huge. I mean, certainly, particularly for this part of the island, it is all we have. But we are a mecca for super yachts. In fact, this tomorrow starts our super yacht challenge, where we've got 21 yachts over 100 feet long competing out in the water. That's where I'll be tomorrow, out in the water for 4 days. Yes, it is. And as I say, although we have quite a lot of what we call day workers who go and work on a yacht to clean it, polish it, varnish it, it's very much, a few days' work or a week's work, and then they've got to find another one. I'm aiming to get students permanent crew on the yachts. Obviously, they start off at the lowest level, but hopefully those that excel will progress through the various stages to become. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a captain of a large yacht once they get experience in the training. So that's our mission, really, is the employment. Apart from which, sailing's a great recreational sport. You can have a lot of fun messing about in a boat. It's a competitive sport to Olympic level for those that show aptitude. We work very closely with the Yacht Club. They're very supportive. Their focus is racing. So when we have a student that shows particular aptitude for racing, they'll probably be amenable to giving them a scholarship at the Yacht Club, and they'll become part of a racing team. Our mission really is to get as many kids on the water as we can within our programme, and our budget. We have about 120 students a week, Monday to Friday from schools. And then Saturdays we have open sailing where anybody can come, even if you're in a school that's not on the programme. Yeah. You can come on a Saturday and have lessons and practice. So it's fairly full on.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure you kept very busy with 120 students a week, Elizabeth.
Yes. And then we have about 70 disabled a week, which, as I say, a mixture of physically and intellectually disabled. Some we will teach to sail solo, and some we will give a social and sailing experience to. We deal with the special needs, 2 special needs schools who come as well. So yes, it's not too many dull moments.
Very good. And for the uninitiated, for any of our listeners out there who maybe have never been sailing, maybe through, like myself actually, I always, whenever I'm away in these places and I see people sailing, I think, gosh, I wish I had the confidence to sort of try that. What's the sort of appeal, when you first started sailing and when these students first start sailing, what's the sort of feedback? What's the feeling like when they try sailing for the first time?
Well, when they go out for the first time, obviously they need to achieve a certain standard before they can go solo. But I suppose it's akin to learning to fly, really. You start off with an instructor by your side until you gain enough experience and confidence to try it for yourself. It's different to team sports. It's very different. When you learn to sail a dinghy, you're sailing solo, you're making the decisions, and you need to be mentally aware the whole time. It's not a sport where, if somebody else has got the ball down the end of the football field and you miss it, the person behind you might get it.
Yeah.
Sailing is a very solitary, it can be very solitary, but it does teach the kids to make their own decisions. They have to learn an awful lot of theory. You can't just go out and go around in circles. You mustn't bump into other boats. So there must be rules, a bit like driving a car, where you know who's got the right of way and give way and all those sorts of things. There's wind awareness. You need to know where the wind is at all times. That's number one essential. There's obviously environmental issues. We also teach them to respect the ocean. And we have clean-up parties for beaches and things like that, and try and teach them about ocean sustainability, and Antigua's been very good about banning. Years ago, we banned plastic carrier bags, the government, and polystyrene boxes are not allowed, plastic carrier bags. But, it's a hard lesson, and it's the young ones that you need to get on the programme.
Yeah.
So, yes, we give them lessons on the environment. As I say, we could teach twice as many, but we don't have the resources. We have a long waiting list of schools that would like to get on the programme. But we have, obviously, staff considerations as a ratio of staff to students for safety, which is always a prime concern. There's transport issues. Our bus takes 12 students. More students need another bus, need more instructors, need more boats. I mean, we operate at our maximum capacity. I hope that one day we'll be self-sufficient, but we haven't got there yet. But every year we do a little better. So I'm hoping, in the next 2 or 3 years that we might achieve. We've made vast improvements to the premises and the facilities. We have a small hotel on site, which is very popular and pays the rent. We have our own dock, which has been installed in sections over a number of years, where yachts can berth on our dock at very reasonable rates. We give sailing lessons, private lessons, obviously, to tourists. We get people who come and see the harbour and see the boats in the harbour and think, just like you, said, oh, I'd like to do that.
That's something then that, I suppose that's another way that our low season travel community could get involved. When they travel to Antigua during the low season, if they fancied it, they could come on down, first of all, and see the great work that you guys are doing, and that hopefully, with the money that they've spent on getting there through ourselves, we're donating on their behalf, so they can see what their money is going for. But also, they could potentially look at taking some sailing lessons, hopefully themselves.
Absolutely. Well, low season is always attractive for dinghy sailing. We don't have the big yachts in the low season because of insurance issues, because we're in the hurricane belt. so the yachts leave. But dinghy sailing, we do all the year round. The hotels are cheaper, it's less crowded. You know, our accommodation has summer rates, which is low. We do special packages for stay at the academy and learn to sail. You know, if you've got a week's holiday, you can probably have 3 sailing lessons and get a feel for it. We always recommend that people have a course of 3 lessons to give them a feel for it. And they can say, well, this, yes, I like this, I want to do more. And because we're an RYA centre, if they do an RYA course here, it's recognised anywhere in the world at any other RYA centre. Yeah. So we all teach, that is the whole point of being an RYA centre. We all teach from the same syllabus. So when you've passed level 1, another sailing school will know exactly what you've learned and what you need to learn. So it's, as I say, and you can end up at the Olympics. I mean, Sir Ben Ainsley is a prime example.
Absolutely, yeah. Why not? Maybe one of our low season travellers could be there as well.
They could be here. I mean, it's a marvellous time to come in the summer. It's less crowded. You don't have to book in advance to get into a restaurant in the summer. You know, admittedly, it's quieter. Not everything is open, but the weather's fabulous all the year round. It's a little bit hotter in the summer, mostly because of the lack of the trade winds rather than the actual temperature. But like us, you know, our hotel, everywhere's air conditioned. And quite honestly, people are glad of a bit of sunshine when they come from Europe.
Absolutely, I'm sure they are. And you mentioned before it's your 10th birthday this year. Do you have any special plans to celebrate?
Well, we did, yes, in February. It was in February. We had a regatta for our students and an open day inviting their parents to come and see what they do, because the students get the bus after school and come and have their lesson and go back to school. You know, especially the older ones, we never see the parents. So we have an open day a couple of times a year and invite the parents. And then this is the Caribbean, so it's usually followed with a party. We like parties, and we have the climate to have barbecues outdoors all year round, you know, so that type of thing. So yes, regatta open day party is a popular
good way to get all the community together as well, of course.
Absolutely. And then we had on the 1st of March, we had our major day for the sailability program for the disabled. We had over 200 disabled attending, plus government ministers, guests. That was a big day. That's a major fundraiser for that program, which people are very supportive of. We are the only outreach program in Antigua for the disabled. They have most of the schools and disabled centres are in St. John's, the capital, which is about a 30-minute ride away. So particularly the kids, they get a ride on the bus, they come here, they have a sailing experience, they'll have a picnic and then back to their base. So it's their day out, really. They look forward to it all week. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you mentioned that you're off sailing yourself later on today. Where are you headed?
Well, actually, I'm skippering the committee boat for the J-class regatta for 4 days. So it'd be quite a lovely change to get out of the office and away from the computer. So we're not going very far. We have a major regatta starting tomorrow, and I'm involved with that.
Very good.
Which will be fun. Yes, some beautiful boats will be out there racing. Yes.
It sounds idyllic from where I'm sat, Elizabeth.
Sure.
Elizabeth, listen, that's all we've got time for. If anybody wants to find out more about the organisation, they can of course go to your website, which is nationalsailingacademy.org. And obviously we'll be promoting you very heavily on the Low Season Traveller website, and we're delighted to be associated with you and have you as our official charitable partner for this year. So thank you again for your time as well.
Thank you, goodbye.
So there you have it. My thanks again to Elizabeth for sparing the time to speak with us this week, and please do check out the nationalsailingacademy.org website to learn more about the work which the Academy does in Antigua, and you can also find out how to donate should you wish to. Remember, a full 50% of all profits made from bookings via the lowseasontraveller.com website will be going directly to organisations like the National Sailing Academy in Antigua. At LST, we always travel at the most responsible times of the year, and we leave a positive legacy wherever we go. That's all for this week's show. We're back again next week as we head over to Mexico to learn more about this vast and diverse country. If you haven't already done so, please do sign up to receive our latest updates on lowseasontraveller.com, and then you'll be among the first to experience the world's first low-season dedicated travel website. Perfect for inspiration as we wait and dream of future travels. Have a great week, stay healthy, stay safe, stay home, and don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, family, and social networks. Our content will always be free for everyone, as we believe that travel is better without the crowds.